Hey everyone, this is Mr. Sparrowhawk. I'm going to show you how to put together a trombone. I'm going to be using a district-owned instrument, which is an old trombone, probably like the one I gave to you, so that you can see how it's done on this type of case. When you open these, there's a certain way you need to make sure that you're opening them. That they're designed to open a certain way. There's a top and a bottom to these, okay? And the way on most trombone cases to find the top or the bottom is to look at the handle where it's attached to the case. And you're gonna notice that the seam, where it comes apart, there's like a flap and this overlaps in the front. So this piece here is gonna go up and this piece down here below this is gonna stay still. So the handle is attached to the bottom part, okay? So that you want the top on the top, the bottom on the bottom, right? And then you have different kinds of latches, of course, to release these. Some of them have a button that releases like a little lock like this one does. I think the button's over here. And with this one, I think you have to lift it up with your thumb. Some of them just snap up. And then the other ones are just sort of buckles that go up or down. I'm gonna put this in my lap so I can do this safely. And then I'll get one more latch on this side. So I'm gonna open it up. The side that opens on the top has the slide on it, and the slide is attached inside. There's usually something that holds it into place. So that's why that needs to be on top, because it will stay in place. If you ever open these cases where I'm gonna close my back and hold my hands on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the straps too, because I don't wanna take that chance, is that if you have it upright like this, and the straps are on top, and you open it up, you set it down next to your chair or something in band, and you open it up, and the part with the bell in it and the lead pipe will, or not the lead pipe, the part with the bell on it, the larger piece, will fall out of the molding. And if it's sideways like this, it'll fall out, and then if someone is next to you and they happen to, maybe it falls over towards them and they push it out of the way with their foot or something like that, push it out of the way, and then the case closes on. And I mean, I've seen this happen. I've taught over 20 years of beginning band, and so I've seen this happen a lot. Then you cause damage to the instrument. It has to go to the shop. Most of the pipes on this thing, if they get bent even the slightest little bit, especially as long as these things are, even the slightest little bump could cause them to bend enough to where it has to go to the shop to be fixed. Because the slides have to be, especially the slide has to move very smoothly, okay? So again, I'm gonna open this back up the way I had it. The top piece opening up with the slide in it. And then the bottom piece has the mouthpiece, which I'll go ahead and pull out and set on the table, okay? Usually set it down, cup side down. And then you have a, and actually, I'm going to grab my mouthpiece because I have my trombone in the back there with my mouthpiece in it. So I won't use this one. Put it back in the case. So you have by the way, a lot of cases have a molded mouthpiece. Some of them just have a little box with a snap on it, and that's what mine has. So you're going to pull out the piece with the bell on it, okay? And what I want you to do is take that and you're gonna face that down, I think, to start out, okay? Don't set it on things on the bell like this. Sometimes you can get it to balance, but it's one of those things, again, if it were to fall, that's gonna bend something here or potentially even crack something. So, and once it gets cracks and bends in it, it stops working properly. So be really careful with that. Maybe just hold it. And then you're going to open the other side. There's going to be some sort of release mechanism to allow the slide to come out, okay? Mine has sort of a lid, so I'm opening up the lid. It had some little things that I moved out of the way, and then I pull it open. And then the slide should sort of come right out. Now be really careful with the slide. And what I want you to do is take the round side and put that facing down, okay? That's a safe way to hold it. And what you're going to have to probably do is set these down on your bed or something soft, a table with nothing on it. There's a key on the end here, so set it down on the side that doesn't have a key on it, like that. Make sure it's not going to fall. And then with your other hand, you can close your case up, set it down on the ground. Get it out of the way. And then you're going to grab your slide. The way we talked about, the round part on the bottom. And then you have your other hand on the bell. I do have my camera angle reversed, so you're seeing everything mirror image of you, I believe. So you should be seeing, this is my left hand here, and this is my right hand, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a couple things. First of all, I'm going to set this piece in my lap so that I can show you something, but on your slide, okay? Most slides are going to have, we're going to have a longer side and a shorter side, okay? Thing to remember about that is the longer side is going to be where it attaches to your other piece in your lap. The shorter side is called the lead pipe, and that's where your mouthpiece goes, okay? So on the lead pipe side, where your mouthpiece goes, a lot of trombones have a mechanism at the bottom that will lock your slide, okay? Now, some of the older instruments don't have these, or sometimes they're super loose and they just come undone without you trying to do it. This one just has a little piece that turns, okay? And when it's turned that direction, it doesn't come out. I can let go on this side and it won't come out. If it's turned back this way, then this piece comes out, okay? And so you have to be careful when you're moving this around. That really needs to be locked, because otherwise, if you let go of it, the slide could just sling out. And again, I've seen this too many times. And as soon as that happens, I guarantee this will not move as smoothly, okay? This slide moves really smoothly, okay? When it starts to get rougher and you feel just a little tiniest bit of resistance, okay, then when you play, it really affects the playing, and it makes it harder to you know, quickly get back and forth from note to note. This has to be able to move smoothly in order to do that, okay? All right, so you're going to take the longer side. There is another piece that moves up here, and again, for this particular trombone, it basically is a little grip piece that you can grip. It's got some ridges on it, and that is going to go, it's on top of like a threaded piece. If you've ever seen a screw close up, there are these little spiral things that go all the way up it, right? So those are on here. They're underneath that piece that moves up and down like that, okay? So those are going to attach to this side, okay? If you look at this piece right on the end, those also are threaded. And so those two pieces are going to go together, okay? So you turn it, just move it however you need to move it to get those two pieces together. You can set the bell on the other one, and you can let go, and it should hold it there in place, okay? But then you have to take that piece, it was down here, and it has to go up and screw onto the top piece, because that's what holds them together, okay? Now don't screw it in tight yet, because once you get it screwed in, what you're going to be doing is setting it on, this is left shoulder. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a corner out of these two pieces, okay? So from this angle, and you can look at it with your eyes like this and see that same angle, right? So what you're going to do is you're holding it in this position. You're going to turn them away from you until you have a corner there. So if you look at it like that, you can see this piece. It was like this. And then we moved it down like this, okay? So this piece is sort of away from you, right? This is, remember, the lead pipe, that's where the mouthpiece goes. So what I'm gonna do is just tighten this up now a little more. So you wanna get this real snug. I've never seen one of these get stripped. I talk about, you know, other instruments where you don't wanna tighten things up too much because it could strip out screws. But I've never seen one of these get stripped. They're pretty strong usually, so you can really get that as tight as you can and to where these don't move, okay? And it does, it sort of makes a corner. And what happens is that little corner there, okay, the corner is this top part here, that corner is gonna be on your left shoulder, okay? So you're holding it like this, and what happens is the bell, when you're sitting in a chair, can sort of be on your left knee, like that. And just make sure the slide doesn't touch the floor. You have shorter legs than me, so that may happen, be careful. But that's the way it sits when you're not playing, and you kind of hold it that way, okay? So you're gonna take your left hand, and what I always do is the only time I'm okay with you doing the finger guns, okay, is in your left hand for trombone. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that and you're gonna hook your thumb. Remember where the two pieces fit together? That's gonna hook, your thumb's gonna hook right there, okay? Your thumb will sort of hold on. Your middle fingers will go, there's this square right here in the slide piece, and your middle fingers will go in there. Your index finger will point up to this lead pipe where your mouthpiece is gonna be, okay? And what I do is keep my pinky available to hold that slide, because you know, if that slide lock comes loose and you don't have your pinky there, the slide drops out. And I just caught it with this hand because I didn't want it to hit the ground, right? So so you want to have that pinky can sort of serve as that as well, okay? And what happens is, and so this is a tough grip to get because you're pointing your finger up like this, you're curling your finger around, and you may have smaller hands than me. I don't have like super big hands, but they're bigger than kids' hands at least. So again, it sort of looks like this, right? And so what happens is this sits on your shoulder, your left shoulder, and then the mouthpiece goes right here. And that should put the mouthpiece right up around to where your mouth is, okay? And so again, you want to think of this as like a corner, okay? Like this is flat here, and then this is flat in this way, okay? And then this flattens out like that, right? So, and then if you have your mouthpiece, I'm going to grab mine off of my other trombone. One thing about mouthpieces is that they tend to get stuck, okay, if you do a couple of things that you should not do, and that is they'll get stuck, you know, when the weather changes again, metal expands and contracts, so that can cause things to happen. Certain, you know, colder days will be different than warmer days. But also, so when you set this in, what I usually say is just kind of let gravity do the work, let it set in there. But then you're going to push and twist at the same time, just a little, and that usually will hold it in place and it won't kind of come out. If I turned it upside down, it wouldn't fall out. And that works fine. What you don't want to do is this. You don't want to start hitting it. Now I'll go ahead and say it makes a cool sound. I get it. You want to hear it, but you just can't do that. It's not. What happens is this puts extra pressure. It gets thicker as you go further in. The mouthpiece is actually thicker. You look at it up close on this part than it is at the bottom. So where it goes in, you know, it gets more snug the further up. So what happens is if you push this down, it could crack the lead pipe. And if you crack the lead pipe, it's got to go to the shop. If there's any air escaping, pretty much all the way around to somewhere around here, it's gonna not make a good sound, okay? You could have a crack over here somewhere or closer to the bell, and it's not really gonna affect the sound that much, but the closer it is to the lead pipe, the more it affects. And this, you know, this is right at the lead pipe. So if you're banging on it like this, it could crack it. And again, it's got to go to the shop, and you can't play when it's at the shop. So then you get behind everybody else, and it's no fun. So take care of it, be good with it. And then we will talk more about actually producing the sound on the next video, okay? I'm going to take it apart more quickly. I've got my case. It's going to be open on the side here, so that I can put it in very quickly. And so what we do is first the mouthpiece, the heavy part, you put that in the molded part where it goes. This goes on my trombone. Again, you make sure that your slide, oops, my slide wasn't locked. I'm glad I checked. So I've got my pinky, I'm going to hook it, but then I'm going to lock the slide. Some of your slide locks may not even work, so then you always have to have that pinky there. You might be able to rig a rubber band up also to help with that if your slide is broken. If I were in person, I could show you that. Then you're going to unscrew this piece, okay? Now again, if you leave this trombone put together overnight, these pieces can get sticky and not want to work, not want to unscrew. So be careful about that. Take them apart after you play them for sure. All right, so I've unscrewed it, and now I'm going to twist and pull gently apart. I'm going to go ahead and put the bell in because that's a little bit easier usually to get in its spot. Make sure it's turned in the same direction it was. If there's anything to hold it in, there may be a little thing you have to push to turn to hold it in, so do that. And then this one again, making sure the slide is locked. Keeping in mind that this little key on the end, the water key, this one needs to be on top. It can't be resting on that. Okay, so when you put it in the case, it's going to fit in this way. Okay, so you find the way that it fits that way. Should only go one way. And then you close. Make sure that all the straps are closed. Make sure that when you turn this, that you're not closing both of them, but you're closing the lid. Okay, so that again the bottom piece doesn't fall out of its molding, and then you crush it and it has to go to the shop. Okay, all right, I hope this has been helpful. Look for my next video on playing your first note. Okay, all right, good luck. Bye.